Well, hello everybody. For us it is Thursday night. For you it's hopefully Friday. If not, happy weekend.
So whenever you watch it.
Happy whenever you're watching it. So you guys sent in a ton of questions.
On Instagram and YouTube. I did never open it up to Twitter because I kind of just forgot because it's been a crazy week.
But we have plenty of questions regardless.
Yeah, so I think we've got something like 30 or more questions. So we should probably just get right into this. Let's start with YouTube. Happiness and Sweet Tea asks, how often are you guys able to go to Disney? And then she said she loved the tips on her videos, so thank you, we appreciate that too. How often? It kind of just depends, like on the year. Like now that we bought this house that we are currently sitting and filming in, we probably won't be going as much. We've gone once since we've been in this house, and we're gonna go one more time, and then our passes are gonna expire, and we're gonna take a break probably for a good while.
Yeah.
So probably not until Star Wars Land opens back up, or opens up, not back up, but until Star Wars opens.
At least once a year would probably be the best answer.
Yeah, and more if we can, but yeah. All right, David, your comment is a paragraph, and it ends with the worst.
David, is that who's?
Yeah, it ends with the worst statement ever that I will never say. So, I am a foodie, so my question is, if you could put together your perfect one day, breakfast, lunch, dinner, and snack, and adult beverage of dining at Disney, what would it be? So basically just like building it. It could also just be dinner at Le Cellier, or for the snack and adult beverage, what?
Yeah, well, let's kind of do this, start with breakfast. I would do the French toast at Crystal Palace.
I think I would just go to Boma, period, which I know you haven't done. But I would go to Boma. I loved it. I thought it was the best breakfast I've ever had on, actually, I might be just the best breakfast I've ever had, period. Like, it was really good.
I would take the French toast and I would go to Garden Grill and eat the rest of the breakfast there. That'd be my breakfast.
And then for lunch.
This one's hard, because we don't do lunch.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, I mean, I kind of just have my meals that I like. I don't know what I would do if I would pick and choose. So maybe the better way to answer this is like to pick out a few foods that we really like, and if we could pick and choose things from certain places,
I'll throw in my lunch would be Via Napoli pizza. So I'd start with that.
I would do noodles from Ohana, but just the noodles.
Those are so good.
I didn't care as much. I don't care as much for the other stuff, but the noodles and the pot stickers would be really good. You could combine that with the steak at California Grill, because why not,
that was gonna be
Money
my
is
dinner.
no option. Well, I mean, you can't get the noodles for lunch, but since I can do whatever I want, that'll be my meal. And then I'm gonna go to Garden Grill for dinner and eat all the food.
Eat all of it.
Yeah, the salad. I'd eat the salad every day.
I'm going to California Grill for dinner and getting that steak because it was delicious.
Yeah,
and
it was.
My snack.
Oh, snack, darn.
And adult beverage.
Mine would be a peanut, sorry, we're sitting on stools and I have a hard time sitting still. But probably the pina colada. I really like that drink at Disney. It's really good.
I would either go the Moscow Mule at the Wave. They make a really good one there. Or I would go with it's like the Tiger something. It was at Animal Kingdom.
Yeah, at Nomad Lounge. I can't remember what it's called. But like a leopard, I don't remember, but I know what you're talking about. Also, the snack.
Turkey leg.
Ew, those are so gross. Like, no way. I would probably choose a Dole Whip swirl at the Polynesian.
That's a good choice.
Jason Granter asks, do you always deactivate your magic bands when you get home?
So basically, if you don't deactivate your magic band, it can cause you some problems going into your room, which we have found on multiple occasions.
Yeah.
So we didn't until recently.
Yeah, I actually spoke to a cast member and I'm like, I don't understand why I'm always having so many issues trying to get into the door. And he's like, oh, nobody's ever told you to deactivate your magic bands? And I'm like, no, nobody ever told me that before.
Like, it's on our account, it should have our thing, right? And every time it's a nightmare.
It's always been like a thing for us. So I did go in and deactivate almost all of the I did go deactivate all the Magic Band 1 series. So only like the new Magic Bands are active. So we each have like maybe 5 or 6 Magic Bands active right now, but I think you would be fine.
So if you didn't know that, there's your tip.
But yeah, I think that if you wanted to bring back your old ones, you could, but you have no reason to. I mean, I just like to have different colors because I'm a girl. Jeannie Lowry, Jeannie? Jeannie Lowry asks, what's your favorite character meal and why? Garden Grill.
Breakfast, dinner.
Yeah, it's just the character interactions. Like the characters just keep coming around and around because the restaurant is a circle. So to get to all the people, they have to keep coming back by your table. And so you get to interact with the characters so much.
And it's fun characters. You get Chip and Dale, who are always funny. They always have good personality. Mickey, who you can't go wrong with. And then Pluto is also fun. So it's...
I would love, I think if they added Donald, it would really be like the perfect character meal. But I really missed that whenever we went to Tusker House in April. I know I talk to you all the time. Y'all have done Land and World, Disneyland, Disney World. I want to see Sea. It's hard to find great vlogs for Disney cruises. So my question would be, any plans for a Disney cruise or even a Disney park outside of the US or Disney Adventures or Alani?
The answer is not on the current radar. I haven't ruled it out.
But
Brittany's pretty prone to motion sickness, so the cruise
really
is
bad.
Probably the least likely of those options.
But then again, like I'm also terrified of flying, and flying all the way to a non-US Disney park is also kind of like scary to me.
So wouldn't count on it, but wouldn't rule it out, but also wouldn't think there's a big chance.
How about this? If we decide to book a cruise, I will message you personally because I think you're pretty cool, Jessica.
Now, if you guys wanted to like send us a check to pay for the cruise, I mean...
No, don't listen to him.
I'm kidding.
Mike asks, just curious, which resorts have you stayed at? And without taking money into consideration, which is your favorite? And where is your must-do dining location for each vacation? Well, I feel like the resorts that we stayed at, all the values, all the moderates except for Port Orleans Riverside, and then Saratoga and Contemporary together, and I've stayed at Yacht Club and Polynesian without him.
So if we had to go, money's no issue, I would choose the Contemporary. If I'm going ones that I know, if I was picking a new one, I would probably, it'd either be Boardwalk or Wilderness Lodge, maybe Grand Floridian.
I would, yeah, if I could just like go somewhere and stay, I would pick Grand Floridian, but there's just no way, it's way too expensive. We can't afford it.
So, all that said, then my favorite moderate thus far has probably been...
I really liked Caribbean Beach.
It's either Caribbean or French Quarter.
Oh, but French Quarter was so good too.
It's like if I need to wait till Caribbean Beach construction is done.
Mm-hmm. Well, we stayed at French Quarter during construction too.
Well, that's true. I don't know.
They were both really great, but we had a really great experience at Caribbean Beach. I'm sorry, I'm interrupting.
We did have a great experience at Caribbean Beach. I was going to skip down to the values, but if you wanted to keep going about Caribbean Beach, you can.
Pop Century is really great. And then I think the refurbished rooms have bumped it up on our list, but I like All-Star Movies a lot too. If All-Star Movies gets the refurbed rooms, which I think they are, then that would definitely be on my top.
And what else was in this question?
What's your must-do dining location for each vacation? I mean, probably Columbia Harbor House.
That's the one I think we do every trip.
Yeah, that's the only one that I think we do consistently every single time we go. Okay, Shane Holder asks, I know Disney has a thing where if you book a trip, you have to wait 60 days, and that's when they mail you all your stuff like Magic Band and hotel information. But let's say you want to book a trip for 2 weeks. There, will you be able to get your Magic Band and all that stuff with booking fast passes? Okay, so Disney actually sends you your Magic Band about 30 days before your trip. So that will be like sent to you, but you don't need your Magic Band to book fast passes. It just becomes available on the website 60 days in advance. So I hope that's helpful. If you need more information about that, I highly, highly, highly recommend going and checking out Shannon at WDW Prep School. She is like the woman for information, man. She is awesome. I will link her information down below. Go and check her out. She's got so much stuff. But if that didn't answer your question, you can always feel free to email us or message us somehow, and I can try to explain it better. What is something that you have not experienced yet at Disney World that you want to try in the future?
Ashley asks that question.
I know immediately. Hoop-de-doo.
Yeah, I would, if we're going like experience, not like resorts, because there's a bunch of resorts I'd like to try, but yeah, as far as stuff to do, I'd love to do Hoop-de-doo. I think that's #1 for me. Yeah. Or the campfire sing-along kind of.
Yeah, or stay just like being at Fort Wilderness in general. Like, yeah. That's like top of my, like, I so want to do this. Okay, I don't know how to read, but what are your opinions on the water parks? Are they worth the money?
I've only been to Typhoon Lagoon, and I liked it, but I don't know that I'm most qualified to give an opinion. I also have not been to Blizzard Beach, so.
Yeah, I've spent more time at the water parks than you have, but I mean, they're good. We're just not really big water park people. Like, we're one of those people that'll maybe go to a water park maybe once every 2 years.
If that.
So we're not even...
Half the time if we go, it's because we have free or discounted tickets.
Exactly. But I think it's pretty cheap to go to the Disney water parks. If you like water parks, I would highly recommend going because I think that Disney, of course, does it really well. And then I'm just gonna throw in a shameless plug here for Volcano Bay at Universal because that looks real legit, especially if you don't like waiting in line because they have all the cool stuff. But I think it's worth it, but that's me. Don't know if this counts as a question for your video you're doing, but I would love some first timer tips. My daughter and I are going for the first time in July and she'll be 6. Love any tips that you have. I am also going to refer you over to Shannon at WDW Prep School.
Thanks for the question, Amber.
Because I think that she has a lot of really great and valuable information. And we also did a video, which I will link on these things.
Right over my face.
Wherever it is, like the little circle up at the top, about all of the mistakes that we made in our first time at Disney, which maybe that'll be helpful to you. But yeah, definitely go and check out Shannon. She's got like a whole plethora of information for first timers.
I'll just throw in my real quick first time tip.
Okay, I'm gonna go stir the chili.
Okay, we're making dinner at the same time. It's actually behind you guys. Depending on the time you're going, especially if you said you're going in July, so definitely take this into account. It is going to be hot, and if you are not from the South, I don't know if you are, but if you're not from the South and you're going for the first time, then here you go. It's gonna be very hot and very humid. If you're not used to this kind of heat, it will absolutely smack you in the face. Fortunately, we are from Georgia, so we can deal with it, but I know some people who come from the northern parts of the US or even in Canada say that the heat really catches them by surprise with how hot and humid it is.
Just be prepared.
Drink lots of water.
Meg Moogs, odd question here. The Disney refillable mugs, what size / type of lid is it? Was trying to find a replacement to make them leak proof and have an easier time carrying them around.
Well, lucky for you, we actually have a few in the cabinet, but I don't know if we'll be able to necessarily ascertain the exact size of it. I don't know if it'll say on it.
It's plastic tin, which is all I know. Okay, so whenever I measure it across plastic to plastic, it's 3 1/4 inch, essentially. 3 and just past 1/4. So hopefully that is helpful to you. That is one thing I have never done is measure a Disney cup, but I am hopeful that it was helpful to you. Barbara! When I go with my son and his wife in September, I am worried about my daughter-in-law. She is only 5 foot in heels. She has a hard time with standing in lines with tall people because everybody is taller than her. So she gets claustrophobic. Any suggestions?
Well, depending on the size of your group, there's a couple of ways to do this. One, Brittany and I tend to operate almost exclusively on fast passes or short lines. We don't tend to wait in long lines. The other way to do it is if you have a long group, you can kind of
put her in the middle.
Set your space.
Yeah.
So that's what we did like on a MARTA train one time. We were packed in coming out of a Georgia game, and so Brittany was starting to get claustrophobic, so she was up against the door and I just had my arms out and basically just kind of push-ups behind me, so then it created a little space for Brittany to stand in without having to make contact. Not that you have to go to that extreme, but you get what I'm saying. If you're in the line, you sit one person in front, one person in back, you can kind of define your space in the line.
Yeah, so hopefully that's helpful. Or just maximize those fast passes. Go and plug for it. And if it's like really a big thing, I don't know about like getting the disability pass or something, but if it's like something that's really anxiety causing, it might be worth a stop at the
could always ask
like guest relations and just see.
Worst they can tell you is no.
Yeah, this is definitely not the same setup and all of that jazz, but I'm just sitting down to edit this video and I realized that we skipped a couple of questions on YouTube, so I just want to address them really quick. Brian is not here with me because I am, but Bailey Gifford asked, we're going during Thanksgiving week this year and I want to know if you have any tips for someone staying off site and only 1 park per day tickets. Still suggest leaving for a few hours and coming back later. I mean, I feel like the Thanksgiving hours are probably pretty long, and it's like I say in the video whenever it's like busy, like know your limits. Like if you can go a full day for a park per day for 4 days, I would suggest it, but also just kind of go in with the approach of like know that you're not going to do everything, but I feel like if you did that for 4 days, you'd be like super worn down too. And the crowds would get to me a little bit. I mean, during Thanksgiving, it's going to be so packed during the middle of the day. So just be aware of that. I mean, if it were me, and if I were at an off-site hotel that wasn't like super far away, I would probably still go take a break just because I know that I need it. So best of luck to you though. I feel like you can still have a really great time. So I hope that you do. And then I am curious, since you guys have taken some shorter trips, what are your top 5 must-dos on every Disney trip? Probably top 5 must-dos is we pretty much always have to go to Magic Kingdom because that's just kind of our place. And so probably our top 5 must-dos would be like doing the rides that we really like taking a spin on the People Mover, going to see the Carousel of Progress, like those really traditional things, you know, like walking down Main Street, you know, getting food at Columbia Harbor House is just one of the places that we always go to. And yeah, that's 4. So perhaps riding Peter Pan is probably number 5, like just something that we really couldn't go to Disney without doing. I found another YouTube comment that we skipped. Morgan Reynolds, if you guys have been to Walt Disney World in the beginning of November, would you say that this is a busy time to go? I would think that it's probably not a super busy time just because a lot of people are still gonna be in school, but we've never gone during that time. But I feel like November would be a good time based on the fact that they offer free dining, and usually if they offer free dining, that means that they're trying to like entice people to go that week. So I would think that it'd probably be okay. But I don't really know. I check out like touring plans, park calendars, or crowd speculation kind of things and see what they say. So I think that is all of our YouTube questions. I'm just making sure I got them all. Yeah, let's wrap up part 1 of this video.
All right, so thank you for sending in the questions on the YouTube comments. Be sure to stick around Monday. We will be vaccinating all of you who questioned us on Instagram.
Awesome.
On the little Instagram.
Thank you for sending in your questions, and we'll see you Monday.
Go Dogs.
Yeah,
David.